So I'm the Greek geek because I'm 50% Greek and 100% a geek. Now, I've already gushed about the first season of My Hero Academia, which was absolutely fantastic. And in my opinion, this one is even better. It expands on the characters, powers, the story, and everything, the world, so much more. And I love it to death. So proceed to watch me gush about My Hero Academia Season 2. Let's get into it. After the attack on the USJ by the League of Villains, the UA teachers decide, hey, fuck it, let's still do a sports festival, because what shonen anime would be complete without a tournament arc? And after that, during the hero internships, a badass villain/anti-hero arises to challenge the ideal of modern-day heroes, and our main characters get involved. This season expands so much more on the characters that we already know and love from Season 1. So we learn more about their backgrounds, their ideals, what motivates them, and what they're aiming for. And a lot more characters that didn't get much screen time, if any, during the last season. They get a lot more, and a lot more side characters get a lot more time in the limelight. And I love that, particularly during the sports festival. And we get to see more of different classes, like Class B, different characters in that class, like what it's like to be in Class B and be in constant opposition of Class A and living in their shadow, essentially. And it creates a lot of tension between the two groups, and it's fantastic. Like students that were only touched upon in Season 1, such as Ida, we learn about his family and his family background and how he idolizes his brother and wants to be like him. And Todoroki with his daddy and mummy issues, how he doesn't want to be his dad, he wants to be his own person and is trying to repair his relationship with his dad and getting used to having friends and all that kind of stuff. And Kirishima actually has stuff to do in this one, so he becomes like Bakugo's friend and is the voice of reason for him, and he helps him out and they become friends. Obviously there's a lot more stuff that happens in this season, but if I touch on everything, we're going to be here for fucking ever. And with Season 1, we didn't get to see too much of the League of Villains and learn about their motivations and what they're trying to do. So in this one, we learn like who their leader is, what he's doing, what they're trying to achieve, and with them trying to dismantle this hero society that they have going on. And Stain, which is a fantastic villain/anti-hero in this season with his ideals, because heroes nowadays, he views them all as just being greedy and corrupt. They only do heroic things for money and to gain fame and popularity and validation and all that kind of stuff. And he doesn't think that's what a hero should be. They should just be good just to be good and do the right thing. He doesn't really go about it the right way because he kills so many heroes. And even when their League of Villains try and recruit him, you'd think, oh yeah, he for sure would join the League of Villains, but he thinks they're just as bad as regular heroes. He has a very interesting philosophy that rings true with a lot of other people, and he kind of converts them to his cause without even really trying. And he inspires so many other villains to join the League of Villains, most of which we don't see much of until the next season, but it's good to see that this threat that's been growing is becoming even more of a bigger threat. So we learn a lot more about what happened when the quirks became a lot more common in Japan, like there was just complete chaos, and of course there would be. If people got superpowers all of a sudden, some people would use them for good, some people would use them for evil, and that's what would happen. And we see that our heroes adapt their powers even more. Midoriya, he learns how to control his powers so he doesn't wreck his body in the process, which is something I didn't talk about with Season 1, how Midoriya, when he uses his power that he inherited from All Might, he damages his body in the process because he can't handle the power. And we see his progression in this where he learns to make this power his own and not destroy himself in the process. And the other students adapt their powers as well. Todoroki eventually comes to terms with using his fire powers, and Uraraka focuses on not getting sick when she's doing it. Bakugo tries to learn new moves and use his abilities in different ways. So many other characters as well, they use their quirks in different ways, and it makes me look forward to future seasons. Just being able to see these new ideas and people using their abilities in all these different and creative ways. It's what shines in this anime and makes it unique, in my opinion. And quirk marriages is a thing that we learn through Todoroki. With his father and his mother, that was the result of a quirk marriage. And I'm like, oh, of course. Like, if you inherit your superpowers from your parents, essentially, as a combination of both superpowers or one or the other, of course, that makes complete sense and is like a logical thing that would happen in the real world if that were to happen. And that's a really nice touch. And we learn more about All Might with his teacher, Gran Torino, how he had to learn how to use his power as well. And we learn a lot more about All Might as well. Fantastic. And we've learned about the schooling process as well and the laws of this world. Like students and people, regular people with superpowers, can't just use their powers whenever they please. Otherwise, there's repercussions and consequences for that. So, of course, that would be in this world. And it's fantastic to add that. It wouldn't be a shonen anime without a tournament arc. So, of course, it has that. And it's great. Like, we see all of our favorite characters. They all have their times to shine during all these different stages of this tournament arc. And we see so many great fights between people, Todoroki and Midoriya in particular, when they're fighting each other, just spectacular in how they use their powers and the destructive capabilities everyone has. And I think everyone gets a chance to shine. We get to see everyone excel in some part or another of this tournament. And even after the tournament, it's a relatively short and it's a very good arc, I thought. But when the students are fighting against the teachers, that's some very memorable fight scenes, in my opinion, particularly when Bakugo and Midoriya fight against All Might. Just beautiful. Loved that. And just seeing all the teachers' abilities and everyone learning to adapt and use their quirks. The fight with Stain is also one of my favorite in this series as well. That is fantastic. And also when the Nomus attack Hosu City and just start wrecking all the heroes, and then Endeavor comes in and just starts wrecking everybody. He's just like burning everyone, throwing like fire javelins. He can like shoot fire at his feet to stop him from crashing into the ground when he's trying to land. He can run up buildings. It's just so fucking awesome. I love it so much. So there's some great themes and music from this season. I forgot to talk about with the previous season, the intros are particularly good. This one too, they're both really good. And it wouldn't be an anime opening without spoiling half the anime, so that's great too. So the two intros for the season are Peace Sign, performed by Kenshi Yonezu, and the second opening is If I Sing to the Sky, performed by, I'm going to butcher this name, Amazarashi. Both of those intros are fantastic. There's also some other great themes like the Cavalry Battle theme, which is fantastic, and Just Another Hero. I'll link them in the description down below so you can listen to them yourself. Let me know what you think about them. So this season is twice as long as the previous one, and that is fantastic. That is a good amount. It's over 20 episodes. And so, of course, with it being over 20 episodes long, there's going to be some filler. So it doesn't directly follow the manga in this respect. There are some episodes where, particularly during the student internships, where they focus on what the students are doing and focus on them. It's good for character growth and exploring more of different characters in that regard. So it's not a terrible thing, but it does slow down the overall pace of the series. But for the most part, it follows the manga quite closely, and it's only a 20-minute episode, so it's not that bad. So, like the last season, I recommend watching this season, just watching My Hero Academia. It's a fantastic anime, in my opinion. It's extremely popular right now, so I highly recommend you give it a watch. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about an anime for a few minutes. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thank you again, and I'll catch you next time.